The sun rose over Manhattan with a golden glow, illuminating the skyscrapers that stood tall like silent guardians of the city. Inside the bustling studios of Good Morning America, the mood was far from serene. The team had been preparing for a highly anticipated live interview for days, an exclusive sit-down with Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex. Producers buzzed around the brightly lit studio, cameras were polished, and scripts were rehearsed. Everyone knew this interview would attract millions of viewers worldwide. Meghan's return to American morning television was already a headline. And she wasn't coming alone. Her presence promised revelations, confessions, and possibly a few uncomfortable truths. At the center of it all stood Robin Roberts, the seasoned anchor known for her professionalism, grace, and ability to ask the toughest of questions without hesitation. She had interviewed presidents, athletes, and world leaders. But today was different. Today, she was about to step into one of the most delicate and controversial celebrity narratives of the decade. Meghan arrived at the studio looking flawless, dressed in a tailored cream dress that shimmered under the lights. Her hair fell in soft waves, and her radiant smile greeted the crew. Cameras flashed as assistants whispered final notes into her ear. She carried herself like royalty, but beneath the poised exterior was a tension Robin could sense the moment they shook hands. "Good morning, Meghan," Robin said warmly, her voice both welcoming and steady. "Good morning, Robin. Thank you for having me," Meghan replied with her practiced charm. But behind those smiles, something simmered. Two women, both powerful in their own spheres, were about to collide. The calm before the storm. The interview began smoothly. Robin asked Meghan about her charity work, her children, and her life since stepping back from royal duties. Meghan spoke eloquently, weaving stories of motherhood, challenges, and resilience. The audience listened intently, captivated by her polished words. Yet, Robin wasn't satisfied with surface-level answers. Her job wasn't to flatter, it was to uncover the truth. "So Meghan," Robin leaned forward slightly, her eyes sharp, "many people still question your decision to leave the royal family. They feel it caused unnecessary division and drama. What do you say to those critics who believe you turned your back on tradition for personal gain?" The air in the studio tightened. Meghan's smile faltered for just a moment, but she quickly recovered. "Well, Robin, stepping back was never about turning my back on tradition. It was about survival, mental, emotional, and personal survival for me and my family." Her words drew a polite nod from Robin, but the anchor pressed further. "But isn't it true," Robin countered, "that many within the palace staff claimed you were difficult to work with? That you created tension, and even some close aides resigned during your time there? How do you respond to those who say the narrative of victimhood doesn't tell the full story?" Gasps echoed among the crew. Meghan's posture stiffened. This wasn't the soft interview she had expected. "Robin," Meghan said carefully, her voice tightening, "it's very easy to label a strong woman as difficult. History has shown us that again and again. I've always stood up for myself, and sometimes that threatens people. But I know my truth." The battle lines were drawn. Robin wasn't backing down. Live sparks fly. The conversation grew more intense with each exchange. Viewers at home flooded social media, their timelines exploding with comments. "Greater than," Robin is asking the real questions. "Meghan doesn't look happy at all right now. This is getting uncomfortable to watch." Robin's next question was the spark that ignited the fire. "Meghan, you've often spoken about wanting privacy for your family. Yet, you and Harry signed multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify, which thrive on public exposure. Isn't there a contradiction there?" Meghan's eyes narrowed. For the first time, her polished mask cracked. "I think it's unfair to pit the desire for safety and dignity against professional work. Everyone deserves to make a living. Privacy doesn't mean silence. It means boundaries. And those deals were about telling our story in our own words, not letting the tabloids distort it." Robin, calm and unwavering, shot back. "But critics argue that by constantly speaking out, by writing memoirs and producing shows, you've actually kept the drama alive. They wonder if this is less about healing and more about spotlight. How do you answer that?" Meghan's lips tightened. "Robin, with all due respect, I think that's a very reductive way of looking at our lives. People forget we are human beings, not just characters in a spectacle." The tension was now palpable. Even the camera operators hesitated, unsure whether to zoom closer or keep a respectful distance. The breaking point. As the interview neared its climax, Robin prepared her most pointed question. It was the one producers had debated for hours, fearing it might derail everything. But Robin believed it was necessary. Meghan, Robin began slowly, her voice steady, many people feel you've used your platform to criticize the monarchy without taking accountability for your own actions. Do you ever wonder if you and Harry contributed to the division you claim to have suffered from? The question hung in the air like a thundercloud. Meghan's jaw tightened. Her eyes flickered with both anger and hurt. She shifted in her chair, visibly unsettled. That's an incredibly unfair framing, Robin, Meghan shot back, her tone sharp. To suggest that we brought this on ourselves is to ignore the years of targeted harassment, racism, and cruelty that we endured. To put the blame on us is exactly the kind of narrative the tabloids thrive on. Robin didn't flinch. I'm not suggesting blame, Meghan. I'm suggesting accountability. There's a difference. Silence followed. The studio lights seemed harsher, the air heavier. Millions of viewers leaned closer to their screens. Something was about to break. And then it did. Meghan's polished composure slipped. She leaned forward, her voice rising. Robin, you can sit there and grill me as if I haven't spent years defending myself against lies. But where was this same energy when the institution itself refused to protect me? Where were these tough questions for them? Robin met her gaze, unyielding. They're not here, Meghan. You are. And my job is to ask the questions people want answered. The studio erupted in chaos, producers gesturing wildly, crew members exchanging nervous glances. Meghan's face flushed with frustration. Robin remained calm, almost icy, her journalistic resolve unshaken. The brutal clash was now undeniable. Meghan Markle and Robin Roberts had gone head-to-head live on national television. And the world was watching. The moment the cameras cut to commercial, the studio descended into chaos. Meghan Markle, visibly shaken, turned to her publicist seated just off stage. Her perfectly composed demeanor was gone, her eyes burned with frustration. This was supposed to be a fair interview, Meghan hissed, her voice sharp but controlled enough to avoid being picked up by the microphones still hovering above. Her publicist whispered urgently, "Stay calm, Meghan. Millions are watching. Don't let them see you rattled." Meanwhile, Robin Roberts remained composed, sipping water as if nothing seismic had just happened. Years of journalistic experience had taught her how to keep her cool under pressure. She knew the moment would go viral, but she also knew she had asked the questions the public expected. Back on air, as the cameras rolled again, the tension was almost unbearable. Social media was already ablaze with clips of the heated exchange. Hashtags like #Robin vs Meghan, #GMA clash, and #Meghan under fire trended within minutes. Robin resumed with her signature calm tone. "We're back with Meghan Markle. Meghan, thank you for staying with us." Meghan forced a polite smile, though her eyes betrayed the storm raging inside. She had a choice: retreat gracefully, or double down and defend herself with everything she had. "I think what people forget," Meghan began, her voice steadier now, "is that behind all these headlines is a family. My husband, my children, myself, we are not symbols. We're people. And I will never apologize for putting my family's well-being above outdated expectations." It was a strong statement, but Robin wasn't finished. "Meghan," Robin said carefully, "you speak of outdated expectations, but some argue you knew what you were marrying into. That you sought the spotlight, and when it became uncomfortable, you stepped away. What do you say to those who claim you wanted the crown without the duty?" The studio went silent again. Even Meghan seemed momentarily stunned by the directness. Her answer came with sharp conviction. "That's an offensive suggestion, Robin. I married my husband, not an institution. Love should never come with shackles. And if doing what's right for our children means walking away, then yes, I will always choose them over a title." The audience at home was divided. Some applauded Meghan's bravery, others accused her of playing the victim yet again. The backstage blow-up. When the interview finally wrapped, Robin stood and extended her hand. Meghan hesitated before taking it, her grip firm but cold. Cameras captured the moment, fueling speculation of bad blood. The instant Meghan stepped off stage, she turned to her team. "That was an ambush," she fumed. "She came for me like I was on trial. Her publicist muttered, "We'll control the narrative. Don't worry." But controlling the narrative was no longer possible. Clips of Robyn calmly dismantling Meghan's defenses were already circulating worldwide. Back in the anchor's room, Robyn addressed her producers. "She's strong, I'll give her that," Robyn said, removing her earpiece. But the audience deserved real answers. Not rehearsed soundbites. The public eruption. Within hours, the interview became the top story across every major news outlet. Headlines screamed, "Robyn Roberts grills Meghan Markle live on GMA. Duchess vs. Anchor, morning show meltdown. Meghan Markle storms through toughest interview yet." Twitter was a battlefield. Meghan's supporters praised her courage, she held her ground. Robyn was unfair. Critics applauded Robyn. Finally someone asked the tough questions. Robyn destroyed her. Late-night comedians picked it up within hours. Memes flooded Instagram and TikTok. Meghan's every expression during the interview was scrutinized frame by frame. Harry's reaction. Back in California, Prince Harry was said to be furious. Reports surfaced that he called Meghan immediately after the show. "You should never have agreed to this interview," Harry allegedly told her. "They set you up. They always do." But Meghan, pacing the luxurious living room of their Montecito home, was defiant. "No, Harry. I needed to speak. I won't be silenced, not by them, not by her, not by anyone." Robyn responds. The following day, Robyn addressed the controversy at the end of Good Morning America. Without naming Meghan directly, she said, "My job has always been to ask the questions people want answered. Sometimes that means difficult conversations. But journalism is about truth, not comfort." The studio audience applauded. Viewers praised her professionalism. Robyn's reputation soared as a fearless journalist, while Meghan's brand took another hit in the eyes of skeptics. The fallout. For weeks, the clash remained a global talking point. Meghan's team scrambled to repair her image, lining up friendly podcasts and magazine features. But no matter how hard they tried, the viral clips of Robyn calmly confronting her refusal to accept accountability overshadowed everything. Meanwhile, Robyn was invited onto multiple panels and news shows, hailed as the anchor who had stood firm against royal glamour and Hollywood polish. Behind the scenes, Meghan confided to her closest friends. "She didn't destroy me. She exposed herself. People will see the bias." But the reality was different. For millions, Robyn had won. Epilogue. Months later, as awards season rolled around, Robyn Roberts received a prestigious journalism honor for her GMA interview with Meghan Markle. On stage, she thanked her team and the viewers for trusting her with their mornings. In Meghan, she skipped public appearances for a while, retreating into silence. When she finally resurfaced, she was more cautious, guarded, and careful with interviews. The brutal live clash had left scars, not just on her public image, but on her relationship with the media itself. For Robyn, it was another chapter in a long career of fearless journalism. For Meghan, it was a reminder that no matter how carefully you craft your story, the truth, or at least, the public's perception of it, can unravel in just one live broadcast. And so, the world remembered the morning when Robyn Roberts went head-to-head with Meghan Markle, and came out victorious.